Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin and today I have my next update in my rolling 10 pan, which is my main project pan for the year. In this project I have 10 items that my goal is to finish them completely throughout the year, and I have some really exciting rollouts this video. So without a whole lot of gabbing, and I'll do some rants along the way because you guys know how I am, but I do have 3 rollouts for this video. So let me get my spreadsheets up, let me get all my items out, and we will get into this project pan update. Is that the quickest intro I have ever done in the history of my channel? Probably, but I'm kind of excited about getting into this and filming. So, before I do, because I told you there was going to be rants, puppy dog updates. So actually yesterday was Washburn's first birthday, so he turned 1. So we did a cake and candles and treats and all that stuff for him yesterday. And he is actually laying on the floor right here beside me. And I guess he just huffed and fell over to go back to sleep. When we were picking up the dog cake, we did pick up some CBD for Malcolm to help with pain control and just help with sleep and any sort of agitation, because he is a dog that's scared of thunder, and we're in our rainy season right now. So I got some CBD, and we were just curious how all of the dogs would react. So we gave a little bit of CBD to all of the dogs today, and Wash, he held off for as long as he could, but I think now it's finally setting in, so he's getting sleepy. But that is the update on the pups. Malcolm is doing relatively good of course, for his diagnosis. He's doing well with his pain control. He's doing well with the CBD over the last 24 hours. And he's actually getting around better than he did a week ago, which is just crazy to me. But we're still loving on him and giving him all the best stuff and making sure that he is comfortable. And like I said, yesterday we had a birthday party for Washburn. But now getting into the project pan. So I have 3 rollouts and 1 rolled in, because we had rolled in some stuff last time with the anticipation. I felt like I said that weird, but with the anticipation, is it gonna rain? I have my window open, which I never keep my blinds open whenever I film, and so now I'm distracted by whether or not it's going to start raining. But 3 rollouts, 1 roll-in, very exciting. So let me go into my spreadsheet here as Washburn walks around and gets comfy. But let's go with the one. We actually had maybe 3, all 3 of these maybe were not surprises to everybody, but let's go with this one. So this is my Juvia's Place I Am Magic Radiant Foundation. I think this is the first time that I've been able to get that name out all in one go without looking at the packaging, but we are completely done. Now, this is a very interesting airless pump. Most airless pumps, you cannot take the lid off, and I mean, I could get in there with a spatula as I hold this the very weird way, but I could get in there with a spatula, but I am just done with this foundation. I am done with using it. I want to roll into something else. So we are completely done with this one. Now, I know for our weights last month we were at 28.79. Now we're at 25.01. I was able to get... Did I put this on there? No, I did not put my uses. This is why I keep my handy dandy notebook here. Where is my Juvia's Place? So with the foundation, I was able to use it an additional 11 times in August. I'm filming this on the last day of August, and I still can't wrap my brain around that next month or tomorrow is September. Cannot wrap my head. So we had 11 uses to finish this up all together, and let's see here. I did put down here that I got 107 uses total out of this. Now, I did typically use 1 to 2 pumps of this depending on how much coverage I wanted, and I was eating an apple before I started filming, so I was like, do I have a piece of apple in my mouth? But I did get 7 uses out of this, which I think is actually a very good range to get on a foundation, especially one that is, I think this is like the 1.7 ounce. So this is more than a typical foundation, so 107 uses. I guess I'll have another kind of spiel on this in my buys and buys, but I'm not going to repurchase this. I purchased this on a recommendation from Angelica Nyquist. Me and her both have oily T-zones, and we both live in hot, humid climates, at least right now when she's living in Texas. So I bought this on her recommendation, and I guess it was good for a little while, but it's not something that I would go back to time and time again. And it had that weird cucumber scent to it that I wasn't a big fan of. But this is a thicker product. So when you put it on, you feel that you're putting it on. So that's probably why I wouldn't go back to this. I wanted a dupe for the like It Cosmetic original like CC cream, and this was definitely not it. So as much as I love that I was able to get this on a deal, and Juvia's Place goes on sale a lot, I personally would not go back to this. I'm going to be looking for some new foundations to go over. But let me get a sip of coffee. This is the Tennessee mug with all the great mountain things. And we ended up getting, it's like a pecan pie, pecan. I know, it's kind of like tomato, whatever. But the pecan pie flavored coffee from Target, it is so, so good. So let me get a sip of coffee, and then we will roll into my next 2 empties. So I do finally have an empty with my ColourPop lip liner, and this was in Oh Snap, and look at how tiny this thing got down. And as you guys can see, the product ended up falling out of it. It gets to a point where when you go to sharpen it, the product in there just comes out in your sharpener. So there was about like 1/4 of an inch of kind of product left, but it just came out in my sharpener. I was done with it. We are good to go. And I'm curious, when did I use up my last lip liner? Because that's when I would have rolled this one in. So let me scroll. My last lip liner, which was another round, I used that one up at the very end of the year. So I rolled in Oh Snap basically on January 1st, and it took me until the end of the month to use it up. So I got a full 8 months of use on Oh Snap, which is typical that I get about 7 to 8 months of use on my lip liners from ColourPop. So another one is down, another one bites the dust, so to speak, and so I am very happy to have this one out. I'm going back as I drop it on the floor. Let me pick it up, and then I'll tell you guys the weights and the numbers. So for our weights for Oh Snap, we were at 3.45 last month. Now we're at 2.90 completely empty, and that's usage of 0.55, which is typical for the month, plus I lost a little bit of product when it was finally just done. So I don't have my number of uses, but let's say over the last 8 months I used makeup, and I'm going to get my calculator for this. Let's say I used that lip liner pretty much every single time I did makeup, and let's say I did makeup an average of 22 times per month. For 8 months, I got 176 uses out of that lip liner, which is amazing. So this one is completely done. And if you've been following along through my entire project pan this year, you guys will not be shocked to see that my last empty is the Marc Jacobs lipstick in Infamous. I almost gave up on this lipstick until one of you guys encouraged me, and I was thinking about doing this anyway, but you guys kind of gave me the push to go ahead and start using this as a cream blush, and so that is exactly what I did. And we will see that I dug everything out of this product. So we were all the way down, and bless it, I think I was so excited when I hit the plastic that I did not take a picture of it when it was completely like flush. I just dug it out and created a new blush, which I'll show you guys that. But I basically called it done whenever it hit the plastic, and when it was like scraping the plastic whenever I was either putting it on my lips or putting it on my hand to use, and then I dug out the rest of it to create, and I put it in one of my Becca bronzer compacts, and you guys can see I already hit pan on this here. So this is the rest of the product that I was able to pull out. I think the product was about 1/2 gram is what ended up being dug out of there. So this is the cream blush that I made. This is just this because I didn't want to mix it in and throw off the weights of my other cream blushes. So this is just the Infamous blush lipstick, and so I did already hit pan on it again. It's very, very shallow in there. It is a very thin layer of product, but I'm excited to continue to use that. But for this project and for my inventory, this is a completely empty lipstick. Completely blows my mind that I was able to use up this entire lipstick. But I know last month we were at 38.87, now we're at 38.5 empty, and so that was 0.37 grams of use. I didn't mark every single time that I used this lipstick, so I really don't know how many times I used it, but it did take me... Did I start using this? Sorry, I'm all over, and I'm also consulting my panning Bible because I think I started panning, and going back to 2023, I think I started panning this lipstick last year. Yes, so I rolled the lipstick in June of last year, so it took me about a year and 2 months to completely pan that lipstick. So happy to see that completely done and rolled out. I really do like the Marc Jacobs formula. Of course, they're not around, even though they're supposed to be coming back next year, I think. But I do love their formula. This was not my favorite color from them, but this is the second full-size Marc Jacobs lipstick that I have panned in the past couple years. So that makes me very, very excited. But those are our 3 rollouts. So let me go ahead and shift over to my items that are continuing on, and then we'll do my 1 roll-in at the end. Oh, I completely forgot to say in my intro, and this is why maybe my intro was so quick, I also have my Pan That palette in this video. So if you're a returning viewer, you guys know, but I do have my Pan That palette, which is the ColourPop It's My Pleasure. I will have an update on that because we have an exciting update on that palette as well. But the first item that we are continuing to use, so progress, would be my e.l.f. liquid Halo Glow liquid filter. Those words were in there somewhere. But as you guys can see, we do have the markings down the side, and we are down to there now. So a good size jump. I got kind of back on board with doing my makeup a little bit more in August. And actually in September, I'm taking I think it's like 7 consecutive days off for my birthday, but it's spanning over like a 2-week time. But I'm going to see how many times I actually do my makeup. So September might have some low numbers just because usually whenever I'm on leave, I'm not putting makeup on my face. But I am down to here, which does give me promise that I can use this up by the end of the year. So I've been using this all year long. We've been doing our tracking, but for this one here, last month we were at 118.61. Now we're at 116.01. No, 116.1. I did use this 23 times, and typically the way that I use this is I mix it in with my foundation. I usually do 2 dips in per application use, and so I did use up 2.51 grams, which is on par for that many makeup uses. So we are kind of back in the saddle and back on par with this product here. So very excited, and just that little amount there really gives me hope that I will be able to finish this by the end of the year. This one is exciting to me because I can see the progress, not even comparing pictures, but just like mentally in my mind, remembering what this looked like just like a month or so ago. I'm excited about this. But this is my Ofra Chick Lit blush in this Makeup Geek Compact. And as you guys can see, that pan is just growing. That pan is just coming out of nowhere. Look at that. I am so super thrilled at how much this pan is growing. And I mean, the product in the middle is thin. This product is also relatively soft, and that's why I scrub the actual product into my brush on the lid. And I try to reserve, I don't just blow off the kick up. I actually want to use the kick up. So I don't know when I will repress this, because I know eventually I'm going to repress it and bring everything to the middle, because we are a little bit thicker around the edges, but we are doing so, so good. I think at the beginning of the year, I still had like an arbitrary goal of using my products 10 times, especially things like this where I'm reaching for other blushes. But for this one here, our Chiclet blush, last month we were at 37.41, now we're at 37.25. I used it 6 times for 0.16 grams of use. But hopefully when my comparisons and my graphics pop up, you guys will more see the differences in the actual photos, which with how big this pan is getting. So that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm paying attention to, because that pan is just blowing up in the middle. So very excited about that. It gives me hope that I could have this as an empty by the end of the year. I don't know if we're really going to get there with, what, 4 months left in the year, but I am going to do my darndest to continue to work through this blush. But let's see. Our next one, this one is getting excited. Like, I feel like the items that have been in here since the beginning of the year are really long haul items. Now that we're this far through the year, we really are seeing some great movement on them. So this is my Urban Decay Pencil and Vice, and look at how freaking tiny this thing is getting. That is so exciting. So I do have my marking there on when it will be empty, and we are getting so close. Like, it's actually getting difficult for me to sharpen this. I had to get, you know, those rubber things that you can put on like jars to help you get a grip. I actually had to go get one of those rubber things from my kitchen and use that to help turn this in the sharpener. And because, you know, I told you guys, whenever I use it in the tight line, I do sharpen this because it scratches the eyes, all that jazz. But I am so excited about being down to there. That is so little to go, and it gives me hope. It gives me hope that in the next couple months I will be able to get this used up. But I know on this one, let's see, last month we were at 3.81, now I'm at 3.48. I did use it 9 times for 0.33 grams of use. So again, arbitrary goal of using this 10 times. I used it 9, and I'm okay with that. This next one, I gave you guys a little bit of a sneak peek on this one in my Project 10 uses, but that is my Tarte highlighting palette, and I showed you guys all of the freaking pans in this palette, and even look at how big those pans are getting. Okay, if there's a weird cut in here somewhere, it's because I kept hearing a weird noise, like somebody was having trouble breathing, so I went and I checked on everybody in the house. Everybody's fine. Okay, we can get back to the amazing pans on this highlighting palette. But look at all of those freaking pans. And I know my main focus for this year is this second pan right here. And as you guys can see, that pan is just growing in this palette. And I'll try to do the same thing that I did last month, where I pop up the number of uses this palette got last month, and then the number of uses each pan has gotten since the beginning of March when I repress this, mainly because I'm tracking how many uses each pan is getting, but of course I'm measuring weights on the whole palette. So sometimes I reach into 2 shades and mix them together, but I count that as a use on each pan. So that's the way I'm deciding to track this year. But we have a lot of beautiful pans in here, and I'll pop up the graphics as far as my numbers on that. But I will, on this one, the overall weights. Last month we were at 119.17, now we're at 118.64, and that is a difference of 0.53, so half a gram. I'm consistently getting about half a gram of use on this palette, and so I am super happy with that. And I still don't know if we are going to see an empty pan on this one right here, but really my goal was also to hit pan on every shade, and I've done that. And so I am just going to see how much of shade number 2 that I can get used up by the end of the year. But so far I've actually hit my goal of hitting pan in every shade. Now we are just doing the bonus work of expanding those pans. let's see, we're going to roll into a lip product, and I actually do have this on my lips today. I probably could reapply after talking and everything, but this is the Sephora Gloss in Busy, and we had a big jump a couple months ago, and now we're back down to our smaller jumps, but still, we are at the bottom of this tube. Look at that. I have total faith that I'll be able to use this up by the end of the year. Now, whenever I do my numbers, I do track how many times I use this, but it is like if I put this on in the morning for my look, that is the one use, and if I reapply during the day, I don't count those. So I think this big jump here, I was reapplying a lot during the day and reaching for this more often, but this littler jump right here, I'm not reapplying a whole lot on this one, but with our numbers, we were at 38.6 last month. We're at 38.37 this month. 8 uses for 0.23. And the big difference, I think, when we look at the reapplying, I used it 8 times last month and 8 times this month. And the difference in the actual like grams, it was double last month in the same amount of uses. So that tells me that I was reapplying a whole lot more. But I'm still extremely happy with where we're at and how much we have to go, because we will definitely be able to use this up by the end of the year. And that makes me so happy to get my lip products rolled out, because there are so many lip products that I want to bring into my life. I am still kind of like crazed with lip products, so I'm like holding myself back from those. But Jane is vacating the room. Sweet boy. Back to a powder product, I have my bronzer. So again, in a Makeup Geek compact, but this is the Juvia's Place bronzer. This is the more warm toned one out of the light duo. I did pan the cool toned one earlier this year, so this is the one that I'm working on now. But this one, I feel like it's, I don't want to say it's a different formula, but it's maybe a lot more hard pressed, because this one is going so much slower than what I saw in the cool toned one, which again is kind of boggling my mind. But it took me like exactly 6 months to use up the cool one, so I was hoping to do exactly 6 months and use up this warm one. But I think at the end of the year, this is going to be a photo finish with, if I can get it done, because it is going slower in relation to the gram usage. But on this one, last month we were at 47.8, now we're at 46.91. I did use it 25 times, so I did my makeup 25 times in August, and I used 0.89 grams. So for a 25 use month, let me just compare with the cool toned bronzer. So yeah, it's completely weird. Where 1 month that the cool tone one, I used it 23 times and used a gram and a half. Then I used it 21 times for a gram and a half. Then I used it 24 times for a gram. So like, who knows? Maybe goblins are eating my makeup at night, or the is it the elves or the cobblers that put the stuff back? Maybe they're doing that at night too. But we are down less than a gram on this one, but I'm consistently using it, and I am seeing a dip start in there. So I predicted that by October we would see a pan. I don't think that the update on October 5th we're going to see a pan, but we'll probably see a pan hit in this sometime in the October usage. But we're still going strong on this bronzer, and I'm crossing my fingers that I will be able to use that up by the end of the year. But we are back to lip products. So we have my Lawless Forget the Filler Gloss, and less use this month too. I think I was gung-ho about using this last month, but this month we are a little bit slower. So those are our new marks right there. And so just a tiny jump compared to that big jump, tiny jump right here. And so with this one, let's see, the difference in usage is last month I used it 13 times, this month I only used it 9, but we were at 31.35 last month, now we're at 31.03, again 9 uses and 0.32 grams of use. Even though, so last month in 13 uses I used up half a gram, and now I used a third of a gram. And I don't know if that really reflects in the amount that it has like lowered, but I'm okay with that. Actually, I do need to reapply something, so I'm going to put this on my lips instead of putting Busy back on just because I want to see how this looks with a purple cool look. We'll see what the cherry vanilla looks like. It is very comfortable and it's very enjoyable. I don't know if the red goes with the purple, but it does feel nice on the lips. So still plugging away at this one, but yeah, I'll be able to finish this by the end of the year. That will not be a trouble at all. So we are on to my foundation. So I am using the Estee Lauder Double Wear Liquid Foundation, and this is what I have on my skin today. And since I've been trying it out more and more since I finished up the Juvia's Place one, so I got this, and I will say, so I ended up repurchasing, which you guys will see this in my buys and buys, so I guess spoiler to that, but I repurchased the Misha BB cream, and I have been mixing the Misha BB cream in with this, and it has made me love this even more. So the Misha just gives it a little bit more creaminess, where this is very thin and liquidy, and so I almost felt like my sponge was soaking up this product and not depositing the pigment on my skin, but the Misha BB cream adds a little bit of that creaminess, and it also adds that gray toned to it because this is slightly too light for me. So it adds a little bit of something where it just makes it perfect. Like this is a perfect match. It is beautiful. So, and it does really, really hold up. Still, we're having like in the low 90s, mid 90s in our temperatures still. So summer has not gone. I keep hearing the people up north that are like, oh, summer's left us, summer's gone. I'm like, not down here. What are you talking about? It'll still be hot and humid on Halloween. It'll still be hot and humid here. So y'all don't even know how much we wish we had fall sooner, but we have summer forever here. But this is holding up really, really well in the heat and humidity down here during our kind of like, it's hurricane season, but it kind of is like a monsoon season where it's raining all the time, so it's always really humid. But my little review on it, because whenever I did my get ready with this, when I used the golden palette, I wasn't really a big fan of this, but I have figured out a way that I am grown to love it. But with our differences, I'm marking it on the back, and so we are down to there. So we made a nice little jump in this foundation. I did get the pump on Amazon, and so last month when we brought this in, I think I only had like 2 uses on it whenever I weighed it, whenever I was bringing it in. So we were at 117.74. Now we're at 112.66. I used it 14 times, and we used 5.08 grams. So that means that if I'm using it on a regular basis, as far as like my main foundation throughout the month, I'll probably end up getting about 9 grams of use per month, and that is a really good place for me to be with using up a foundation within that like 4 to 5 month range. But next month, or through September, will be my first full month of using this the entire month. So I'm really curious how much of a jump we'll be able to see in September. But very happy to have this. Very happy that I found it on clearance at TJ Maxx for $10, because what a steal. What a steal. Very happy with that. And then the last item that I have to update you guys on is I rolled this in last time. Did I? I think I did, because I don't think I had B-roll on it, because I don't think I was prepared to roll it in. But this is my next ColourPop lippy pencil, and this is in Brink. It is this beautiful, more warm-toned kind of brick terracotta color. Absolutely gorgeous. I just started using this. I think I used up Oh Snap like 4 or 5 days ago, so I don't even think I've sharpened this yet. So there's not going to be a whole lot of changes. I think there's no change in the actual like photo of it, but we did have a tiny bit of change with the weight. So whenever I weighed this last month, we were at 7.52. Now we're at 7.4. So I did use 0.12 grams of this. I think I told you guys that I had to end up sharpening it because it actually broke. But otherwise, I've only put this on my lips maybe 3 or 4 times. So this is our next one. I do have it marked here where I mark all of my ColourPop liners because that is where we will be empty, which is in the between like the O and the L is kind of where they end up being empty. So we have another 7 to 8 months on this baby here, but we will definitely track it until the end of the year, and then of course roll it into my project next year as well, which it boggles my mind that we're already talking about next year. And I started to compile my list of like 25 and 2025. And I think I will have to put other products into that rotation because while I do use up more than 25 makeup items in a year, I think it's kind of boring if I'm like, hey, here is 4 of my e.l.f. Jelly Pops that I want to use up, because it's like, well, duh, that's the only primer you have, so of course you're going to use those up. So I might have to put some non-makeup things into that project next year, but I'm compiling my list, and of course in November I'll do my plan to pan, so I don't want to jump the gun too much. So I think it was in my FabFitFun video that I showed you guys that I have a lot of really good looking men on my watch, and I just looked down at my watch to see what time it was, and Kim Young Dae was on my watch, and I just got done watching the K-drama The Forbidden Marriage, and so as soon as he popped up on my watch, I was like, Jonah. Yes, Jonah. Yes, Your Majesty. So the historical dramas get me every single time, but I had a moment with myself, and now we're going to get back with our roll-in. So I figured that I was going to be done with the lipstick, but I wasn't quite sure, so I didn't want to roll anything in its place yet. But we are ready to roll in my next lipstick, and this one is in my 24 and 2024, but I have hardly reached for this year. But it is my Hourglass Confession lipstick in If Only. Now, these ones are the refillable ones, and the If Only is a Hanson song. I think they did this whole collection, and they had like a Backstreet Boys song and stuff like that. Like, they were like hinting at like boy band type things with some of these names, and so they have If Only, and so it got me right in the feels for Hanson because I love me some Hanson. But these are extremely small, so there's not a lot of product in here. But this also does pack a punch, and it gives you a lot of color payoff with like very little application. So I did have this in my purse, but I almost felt like with this much color impact, like it was, if I had a look like this on and I was reapplying this color, which I'll swatch it, if I was reapplying this color, it almost kind of like threw off the look because it is so bright and so pigmented. So I took it out of my purse, and I'm actually going to put this kind of like right up here where all my focus products are so that I reach for this more. It is a very similar color to what Infamous was, and I'll swatch Infamous off of the blush color that I had made. But Infamous is right there. A little bit toned down just because I'm swatching it off of a blush. But, I mean, they were very, very similar, but you can see how much more color impact If Only has. So you don't need a whole lot of it, so it's going to go a longer way, even though it's such a little bit of product. So I mean, I'm going to power through this until the end of the year, and I don't think it's going to take me a whole lot of time if I really just buckle down and focus on it. It's not my favorite color because it is a little bit brighter, but I mean, I'll get use out of it. And then if I want to replace like the lipsticks come out, and you can buy the refills, and you just keep the component and you snap the new lipstick in. So it is nice that they are refillable, but I think even the refills are like 30 something dollars for such little product, and I was like, no thank you, I'll just go buy myself like a Revlon lipstick, thank you very much. But happy to have it. I got it in a FabFitFun, but I did measure it last month just because I was curious for my own self, like when Infamous got done, how much I would actually use it. So last month, whenever I did measure this, it was at 21.74, and now we are starting at 21.69, so 0.05. So I used this like 3 or 4 times and only got 0.05 worth of like difference in weight unbelievable. This thing, I don't know, again, this thing is magic where it has so much color payoff that you don't need a whole lot of it. And it actually does hang around to where you don't have to reapply a whole bunch. So, but still going to focus on this one. So that is my 10th product that I'm rolling in. As far as what I see coming up in the future, I think a couple more months on Vice, but this is on its way out. Eventually the product, the lead, the color part is going to fall out because it's already loose in there. And then my 2 lip products, I'm getting so far down. I'm like, look, 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 look. I'm getting so far down on these that they will be done relatively soon as well. And then, like I said, the rest of the stuff, we are kind of long hauling it, or it's going to be stuff that might roll into next year as well. But let me move all my stuff around and we will look at my Pan That palette, which is my, excuse me, which is my It's My Pleasure palette from ColourPop. So what's my exciting? So my exciting thing is I have 2 new pans. I had to look for confirmation, but I have 2 new pans. So let me show you the palette because I took 4 shades out and I put them in like a focus palette, but let me show you this one here. So we already had Pan in fan fiction, and then we ended up getting Pan over here in this dark purple one, and this one is called Chicklet. So same thing as the blush, so that one right there. Now, when I originally got this palette way back when, that dark purple shimmer did come shattered, and so I repressed what I could and then got rid of the rest. And so it is only about half of the pan worth of shadow anyway, so it was not hard for me to hit pan on that purple shade right there. So absolutely lovely. Now, this shade here, if I deconstructed this palette and only kept the shades that I wanted, I would get rid of Chicklet. It falls out all the time, so like that is why I do my eyes before I set my face, just so I can, you know, tackle or correct any fallout that happens. And with that dark purple shimmer, it just sticks to whatever and smears everywhere. And so that is not one of my favorite shades. So that one would definitely go if I deconstruct this palette, but I am happy that I was able to get a pan on. Are you being a watchdog? You got your mushroom? No, everybody's coming back in here now. What's up, Inara? No, you're so good. Oh my god. This is why you guys are not allowed over here. This is why Mommy bungee cords her camera to her table. Because of you guys. This is why Mommy bungee cords her stuff. Thank you. You're very sweet. Okay, now I'm covered in dog hair. I don't even remember where I was. I don't know how much. I'll probably put in some clips of the dogs coming in here, but my husband walked downstairs to get a drink, and the dogs sounded the alarm, and then Inara needed cuddles and almost tipped my entire table over, so you know what? Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. But I showed you guys my 2 pans on this one. But let's look at my little quad here that I have put together, and let me blow on that a little bit because you'll be able to see the pan on that shade right there. Maybe. Oh, you can catch a little glimpse of a double pan down in there. So this one is actually a very soft shade, so I wasn't surprised that I got a pan on that one because it was a beautiful shade to set up any purple looks, and I did use this as like a transition / crease shade quite a bit when I was using other palettes in my rotation back here. But the other ones in here is Kitten Fish, which has a huge dip in it. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see the canyon that is in Kitten Fish. And same thing for this one back here, which I think is Sleeper, but there's a huge dip in that one as well. I do actually have Sleeper in my look right now on my outer corner, and so actually I have Kitten Fish and Sleeper on my look today. So I'm still plugging away at those mattes, but ColourPop maps? ColourPop mattes are extremely hard to hit pan on, but the ones that have the glitter in them, they are softer because they're not, I guess like the glitter particles prevent the other ingredients from getting that like hard bond from being pressed. And so the glitter ones are usually a little bit softer. And then I do have Mr. Sandman in here. I have Mr. Sandman on my lower lash line a little bit, so I did use quite a bit out of this palette today, but that makes it to where we now have 3 pans out of the 9 shades. And again, when I'm doing my pan that palette, I'm just trying to hit pan on them. I'm not trying to use up the palette completely. And then at the end of the year, I will take the shades that I love and kind of do what I want with them and maybe get rid of the rest of the palette and put the shades that I do like in like my Purple Z palette. But definitely I am happy to have more pans on here, and I'm kind of coveting, is that the right word? I'm savoring and saving Earthshine there in the middle, and so that is my update on my Pan That palette. But let me look on my spreadsheet real quick because I am curious. We have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have completed 11 products to completion. We've completed them to completion. Good job, Erin. It makes me think of there's a Mitch Hedberg joke, which if you've never listened to his stand-up, he has since passed away, so rest in peace, Mitch Hedberg. One of the jokes was like, it's a fight to the finish. It's a good place to stop. Like, he was very dry with his delivery, and it was amazing. But yes, it's a fight to the finish, and that's the good place to stop. So we completed it to completion. But we've done 11 products, and that is awesome. Of course, what is it, 24 and 2024, which I don't know when my next update is for that one. So, but not everything in that project rolls into this project, and now I'm just rambling, so don't mind me. I haven't filmed in over a week, and of course, you know, everything happened with Malcolm, so I am just getting back into the swing of things and loving it. I missed sitting down and gushing over my makeup, so I appreciate you guys so, so much. But yeah, we've done 11 products to completion. We have 10 more products rolled in. We have 3 out of the 9 pans on our palette, and so I do think that we are doing a really good job on panning. And I say we because we are a community here. We encourage each other. You guys cheer me on, I cheer you on, so that is the we. I am not a multiple person. We'll just put it that way. But I'm going to go ahead and I got to take pictures of everything because I don't have my pictures yet, so I can do my graphics. I'll do all that stuff. And then, like I said, my FabFitFun video is going up on the 1st. And then I don't know what's going up on the 10th. I might do a Get Ready With Me. So I filmed a K-drama Get Ready With Me, but I don't know if I'm going to post it. I think that I need to do a little bit more research about Korea before, or just talk more about like the dramas and not the society. But the thing is, like, I think they go hand in hand, but I think that video I would end up offending some people, and of course that is never my intention because I am fascinated with the Korean culture and I'm like in love with the Korean culture right now, so I don't want to offend anybody by misspeaking or saying something that is very unintelligent and, you know, dumb of me of saying. But definitely I might refilm that and kind of stick to key topics instead of letting my brain ramble. So I have to figure out what I'm going to do for my video on the 10th. If you guys have any recommendations or suggestions, drop them down below and let me know. I am always up for suggestions and recommendations. But I'm going to go ahead, take my pictures, do all this stuff, get this up for you guys. I'm going to encourage you to do all the things. Make sure to hit a thumbs up on this video. Let me know that you are continuing to enjoy my content. When I logged in and like set up all my equipment, because I use my laptop as my monitor for my camera, when I logged on, I am 9 subscribers away from my goal. 9. So I do have a goal to hit 2,000 subscribers by September or by my birthday in the middle of September, but we are 9 away. So if you are lurking, if you just found my channel, if you like project panning, conscious consumerism, eyeshadow, psychobabble, rants, puppy dogs, if you like any of that stuff, hit that subscribe button. It is free for you, but you guys are helping me hit my goal, and I appreciate you guys so much. It is incredible how, like, again, I've kind of checked out over the past week, so I haven't really logged on, and we are now 9 away from the goal. So thank you to my community. Thank you to my friends here. I recognize y'all's names in the comments. I love our conversations. I love hearing about your lives. I love hearing updates about how you're doing. So I appreciate each and every one of you. So drop me that comment. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know how many other people out there are September babies, because we all know what our parents were doing on New Year's. Yep, do the math. Do the math, September babies. I'm sorry to tell you, but let me know if you guys are also September babies, and I will have kind of more information about kind of maybe during my buys and buys, I'll let you guys know what I got for my birthday, because my husband already got me my gift, and so we'll do that. But let me know how you guys are doing. I really love hearing from you in our conversations, but I'm going to finally go. I think I really need some human interaction. I think I've been watching too much K-drama and just kind of immersing myself, and I don't think dissociating is the right word, but maybe it is dissociating from reality. So even talking to a camera has brought me back to reality, because I feel like I'm sitting down talking with all of you guys. But I'm going to go. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being loving and supporting and hanging out with me and cheering on my joy, and also giving me support during the tough times that are happening right now. I appreciate each and every one of you. You have no idea. So I hope that you guys have a beautiful day, and I'll catch you in my next one.